Alrighty, people. I'll start uploading before long. A series that I have been making. In the past, I've made some series, and you may or may not come to different realizations at later life about Aboriginal culture and other aspects, things that you may not have understood or realized before. But as somebody who can admit they're wrong, but most importantly, somebody who can learn, you come to understand more, and then your opinion sort of shifts a bit, or you realize it's not a yes no answer, it's a answer with maybe three yeses and three nos, or a combination of all three, or even all six, and in the past I have had some ideas about dating based on the fact that I didn't realise how full of simps the dating site was that I was on, and how much they fucked that site up. And also a lot of other aspects about women, like their love of attention and how dating sites completely play into that attention seeking aspect of a woman's personality that can easily be exacerbated if they let it. It's sort of, I was one of these people where, like, I've been, as usual, learning stuff by watching and listening to a hell of a lot of stuff, a huge amount of stuff. And there's many women who really don't have a clue or lead guys astray when asked about this, because it's the same problem I faced. And that is that, they can't look at themselves from a third party perspective. The best way to describe all this is that you're in a war zone and you're one of the combatants for one of the two sides of the war zone. And a news organisation employs you to explain the war. But because you're on one side, you cannot explain it properly because you've got bias towards one side and against the other side. It's the same type of thing. And I believe a lot of guys have trouble with all this thing. And pickup artists will talk about game and they'll show what they're going to, and they've got to go through a month of fucking text messages and all these little tests and bullshit the girls do, which is all little mental things that, they're emotional beings. They run on instinct. There's certain things they want to find, but they can't like sit you down and say, here's a written test. They've got little ways, little tricks and games that they do to test if you're what they're looking for. Because if they ask a direct question, they might hear the answer that they want to hear. So they got little tests they run guys through to see if they're what they're looking for. A lot of the trouble men have is it's one of these things where they have troubles playing the game because they don't understand the rules, and then they just crack the shits and up in the whole fucking chessboard, and even when you see what these pickup artists do, many guys say, well, that's interesting to know, but like, that took you a month. I'm not interested in wasting that much time. If girls want to waste it, I'm not wasting that much time, and this is what they say to pickup artists. However, I don't really think it just affects men, although it affects women also who can't see the perspective of men. And I think really, I've even heard stuff from my sister about girls she has known who, in one relationship, there's no analysis of it, there's no stepping back, there's just blame everything on the man, and then go back to living life as normal, and then just bang, straight back in, trying to find the next man, 6 months, a year later, and there's sort of like no recognition of or resolving of previous issues so they don't make the same mistake a second time, and so then they do go and make the same mistake again. And I feel that, like, So many people, if you ask them if they're given up on dating, they say, yeah, I've given up on dating, and I don't know, I've just given up on it. But they actually haven't. What they're doing is they're taking a break. They're gone on vacation from it. And then they re-enter dating after they've given their emotions a break and the emotions have had a rest. Then they re-enter it and play the same old game and make all the same old mistakes a second time over because they've never really pulled themselves out to be a third-party perspective, to be a news reporter on the ground at a civil war. They're a combatant that's gone on leave and then has come back to the front lines again. And so they can't see the troubles they're making because they've never fully removed themselves. And now that I've sort of fully removed myself and opened my eyes, and it's funny where there'll be things under your nose, but you won't learn them until your brain is ready to learn. And so I've done a lot of learning, and yeah, it's intriguing. It's very intriguing. What's very sad is that there's a lot of young women who, you know, can't see the same mistakes that they're making as they're making them. You know, and some of the, if they could only see the perspective of men, they wouldn't go with half of these mistakes. Their dreams are just, you know, oh, I want to get married and I want to have kids and this and that. You look at what, you talk to a divorce guy, you look at it. When you sign a marriage contract, you're agreeing to be cut up for fucking sushi. You know, and then the girls are like, oh well, I got to find a guy. No, a guy wants to get married. Why doesn't any guy want to be? I want to get married, and it's so nice and this and that. But no, feminism has fucked so much stuff for women who are serious about marriage and kids. It's just incredible. You know, and almost all this can be blamed on feminism. And I'm not going to go around and sit there and blame feminism for frigging everything. What I am saying is the girls who are serious and do want marriage and kids and this and that, there's been so much bullshit that's just enslaved men that men have got no, you know, there's nothing in it for them. And then that wrecks it for the girls who did want to have kids and get married. And the feminists got the laws passed, but then it fucked it for every girl who wasn't a feminist, you know. And it's sad, but this is the way things go. But it really is a case that you do need to get out of the war zone and take a third-party perspective from all these things to ever understand them, you know. And but anyway, I've already made about 6 videos on top of this one, and I could probably make another 2 more, easy. Yeah,